I live in a very, for people who don't know, I live in a very extreme city weather-wise.
Mm.
So today the city, the weather decided to be really hot. It was like 3 p.m. and we were like 42 degrees Celsius.
Ay, ay, ay.
In the middle of spring with zero humidity.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe it was horrible. Like 40 degrees in the middle of April. Like I can see this in the middle of summer, but no, this is the beginning of the spring. Like,
so what's important is, in your house, do you have air conditioning?
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Mate, I lived the majority of my life without air conditioning. We only got it like 2 years ago. Mate, it's like, it's such a breeze. Like, I still remember the days though where the only thing keeping you alive is like iced water and like fans, mate. And the fans don't even help because they just circulate hot air in the room. Like,
I know, right? I know. Speaking of hot air, here we have this rare player, JimRising himself. I don't know where I was going with that.
Spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Beckett Industries, we have the Peruvian Terran player. He is blue. He is representing Team Rebirth Esports. It is Tavo.
So I see that Jim is taking things seriously this game. He's playing Zerg.
Oh yeah. Actually playing Zerg? My god. But talking about Tavo a little bit, I want to give Tavo a shout out. Like, he has been getting better and really improving. Something else to take note of though is that all the Peruvian Terrans have been getting better and improving. And players
Shout out to Rebirth Esports.
Yeah, shout out to Rebirth Esports, right? Players like Neo, more notably, players like Chaos Fate, right? Even Shelby. Shelby has been just doing so well recently as well. But I would say that because JimRising did take down Shelby, it will be a little bit more difficult for a player like Tavo to take it to Jim and make something happen.
Maybe. To be honest, I would put Tavo like one step above Shelby.
Ooh, okay.
I honestly would. I will look, if you tell me like Peruvian Terrans, I would put Chaos Fest first. Tavo second, Neo third, Shelby fourth.
Whoa! Oh my god! Okay. I think for the most part, I have to agree with you, except I never give Shelby enough credit, and I think I should. Oh my god, as there's a micro battle going on right now. But like I always have the perception that Shelby, he's just like, he plays for fun, but like he actually has like really good micro. Like he can be really impressive.
I mean, don't take me wrong. All four of them are really good. Like they're not on this list for nothing.
Yeah.
But and Tavo and Neo, they trade blows every now and again. But I want to say it. The way Shelby played today, it was very unorthodox. Like he was taking a page out of Neo's notebook, but it was really good executed and really well done. Like beating the Settler 2-1, that's an accomplishment in my book.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like the Zerg Lord, he is, up there alongside players like Ryu even. So and even JimRising. So it was very impressive. Oh my god. Wow. 4 HP.
See that? He's really good. This is why he's number 2 on my list.
Oh god. We'll see if he can take down someone like Jim. I do think that one of the weaknesses that Tavo has is that I don't know how versatile he is in this matchup, right? I don't think he's plays mech like Neo and Shelby in this matchup, so because of that, he can be a little bit more predictable. And I do think that JimRising is a little bit more comfortable against Biotank instead of mech.
That is correct. By the way, Clock Banshees.
There we go.
Clock Banshees, and I think Jim is going Muta this game because he's doing 2 base layer.
Yeah, the lair is about to finish up. He has all his gases. He will most likely go into mutas. What's important is that Jim did sneak in with his Overlord. He did see the 1-1-1. He saw the tech lab on the starport. So he knows that Banshees are on the way. So he knows that he's safe enough to go into mutas.
Nice block. Nice block. He lost the Reaper. I think he lost one Hellion as well. And they didn't get through. He must suspect that, I don't know if he saw the timing of the 3 base or not. But the amount of Zerlings he saw and other units that are building, that are gas intensive, he knows that mutas are coming this way. And yeah, there's an armory now on the way.
Yeah, oh my god, Tavo's making me eat my words because Tavo's playing mech right now. he's throwing down 2 factories, yo. All the Peruvian Terran players are all just making it happen. Neo, what have you done? I blame Neo for this.
Maybe as the meta, maybe they know that JimRising is weak to this. We know JimRising is very vocal about his hate of mech.
True. I mean, he's very vocal about a lot of things, to be fair. But
mech,
yeah.
Protoss, the balance, the dead game.
Yeah. The game is completed, Kappa. But yo, Tavo is actually dealing some damage. He was able to kill the majority of these things. He's applying pressure here at the 3rd base. He also scouted the Spire, so now he knows 100% the mutas are on the way.
Okay, good thing that base didn't have any workers. Good things in quote unquote. But yeah, I think Tavo is going to be ready for those mutas. 2 turrets are now on the way. The armory is complete. +1 attack for the mech is coming. And diesel turrets are being built. I don't think Jim is going to do much with those mutas.
They shouldn't do much. They shouldn't. But we'll see. I mean, Jim, he's the muta king for a reason, right? Like, if damage can be done with mutas, then Jim is gonna do it. You know, he will find it. Right now, he's just shocking around, you know, chipping away. You know, the Banshees.
One Banshee goes down. Okay. Where are the Thors? Okay, there's 1 Thors coming.
One Thor does show up, but what's important is that sure, Jim may not be able to deal like economic damage, but he is inadvertently by denying the 3rd base.
Oh, quick for Tavo.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? Like he needs to get his economy up and running. Like the longer he's stuck on 2 bases, like the worse it is. Meanwhile, Jim, he's still looking, he's shocking around, trying to find some damage.
Nice turret positioning. Jim doesn't get to do much. No.
Yo, oh no. Tavo, this is my fault. Things are starting to make sense. Exclamation mark Funada Neo. I was talking to Neo about this. Tavo is going Thor Banshee.
I don't think I've encountered this before. Thor Banshee, is it like good against Muta?
So I have a story to tell, because again, we have Hyperflight Rotors on the way. We don't have more starports, which is typically what you need if you want to commit to Thor Banshee. So last week, the Ducklings, we casted ESL Open Cup Americas, and if you remember, this week even, sorry, and if you remember, Eric was doing really well, and Eric went up against 4GG, and 4GG went Thor Banshee. And just slapped Eric to the ground. Like, Eric was looking so good, and you know how Eric is, right? Eric, he goes like roaches into lurkers in this matchup. We were able to cast quite a bit of him, and 4GG went Thor Banshee, and I told Neo about it, and he's like, ooh. he was looking into the VODs, he was looking into the replays, and I think maybe Neo shared them with Tavo. It's possible. I don't know.
More than likely, yes. That's what's happened. The difference here is that JimRising is not going for lurkers.
Yeah.
JimRising is going Muta, and now and oh man, I forgot the name of the units. Stormhost.
Exactly. That's the scary thing, because the Thor Banshee style works so well against Eric specifically, because Eric has a very unique playstyle, right? Going for Roach Ravager into Lurkers. But like, because JimRising is going for a completely different composition, I don't have as much faith in like this mass Thor style with Banshees. So thankfully, even though we do have Banshees on the way, it's not a big commitment to Banshees. Like, we don't have like triple starport production or anything like that. Like, he is not neglecting like his tanks or his Hellions, or at least I hope not.
We'll see. Oh, Naidos here next base. Stormcrows are going to pop out on. Jim has been very, very cost efficient with these mutas. Like, he has already destroyed a Thor, he has already destroyed a lot of turrets, some supply depots. He's being very annoying. And keeping Tavo very busy all over the map.
Definitely. Meanwhile, Tavo himself is doing a decent job here, but unfortunately there's only one Banshee. This Nidus will go down, but not before the Locust Wave goes off.
For SCV 16, 17 SCVs goes down in the end.
Oh god, that's a lot of SCVs, and the mutas even dive in trying to take out the Banshee. The Banshee does manage to escape, but due to those Hyperflight rotors, and mate, I was talking about it, we actually do have triple starport Banshee production.
Why do you make things that don't shoot up? Please, Tavo. You don't only have to copy the build, you have to understand why you're doing the build.
Exactly. You can't just copy paste. You gotta have the knowledge behind it. I do think that this still could work, I guess, right? Because Banshees can maybe shut down the swarm hosts.
Sure. Banshees are going to be basically the mutas for Tavo in this game. The problem is that they're not as versatile.
Yeah.
And see, like, they're starting to get picked up by those mutas. The swarm hosts are destroying everything that they could, picking bases here and there, and the Thors are not very effective against this.
Yeah, exactly. What's important is that for now, though, Tavo, he is doing a decent job defending. He just needs to buy time. He needs to like get 3-3. He needs to expand, take another base, and get maxed out. The problem is that like he needs it's exactly that. He needs another base, and he just can't get one right now.
I honestly do not think he's going to get another base. Now that Tavo is at 150 supply, he's starting to push with all his Thors. To be honest, those are a lot of Thors. Like, mutas have no chance to fight in it. He has to use the Swarmhosts effectively. And there they come.
Here they come. Oh my god, the Thors even get yoinked forward in range of the Locust, and they all get surrounded.
Wow. 6 Thors dead in a second. Man. This is why you have to be very, very careful about where the Swarmhosts are all times, because they can easily pick a mech army, especially one like this, where you don't have many Hellions, many Hellbats to buffer your big beefy units.
And this is also why typically you see Terran players push out after a Locust Wave, right? You wait for a Locust Wave to hit one of your bases, then after you defend it, then you immediately counterattack, so the Locusts aren't ready for the defense. But Tavo, he pushed out, and as we saw, the Swarm Hosts were completely ready for him. Oh, but you know what? Free mineral line. Oh, I spoke too soon.
This is bad for Tavo. Like,
yeah.
he has this, he's close to supply in JimRising, but the main difference is that Jim is always resetting the number of Thors and Banshees that Tavo has. And as a mech player, you don't want that. You want to build and amass enough units that your opponent cannot stop you. But if your opponent is resetting you all over again several times, your money is going to waste, man.
Yeah, exactly. And like, Jim is just doing such a good job at just harassing or attacking multiple places at once. Oh, this isn't the best move though. Oh my god, he's gonna lose all his mutas. I don't know, maybe Jim didn't know that all the Thors were there, but he saw them with the Locust Wave. I don't know what he was thinking, but he just threw away everything. I mean, thankfully, he has a bank to remake, but that was a needless loss, I feel.
Yeah, that was all his mutants, speaking of being reset.
Uh-huh.
It's okay. Jim has the map control, Jim has enough money to rebuild, so it's not as much of a loss, but still, that was not a good play.
There's no detection here either. Like, the Banshees could have kept going. Oh, God. And now Tavo is pushing out into the map. The Swarm Hosts are a little bit exposed, but oh, God, Tavo, he has to respect those Locust Waves. Oh, God.
Okay, nice for Tavo. He's focusing those Vipers, but the army is right behind.
Yeah, but you know what? He didn't get surrounded this time. And now Jimmy's trying to go in, but all the Locusts, they've run out. And now the Banshees reign supreme. There's no anti-air. Nothing shoots up.
Wow. All these Stormclaws are going to go down.
Mate. Mate, what are we seeing right now? Oh,
I mean,
no.
This fight was basically the difference between having the buffer for your Thors or not.
Yeah.
And this time he did.
On top of that, Jim was being ultra aggressive with his Vipers. He overexposed his Vipers. They all immediately died. All they did was Blinding Cloud. They didn't get to yoink at all. Like, they didn't get to throw down their Abducts. And now, as a result, we do see Tavo. He's just closing the gap in the supply. Hydras are coming out, which is great and all, I guess. But, like, Jim wasn't ready for Hydras. Like, he doesn't really have Hydra upgrades. Like, he's only just now range finished.
Like, what are we seeing right now?
Mate, Tavo took a base. He's expanding.
Okay, now I know the next build that I'm going to do on ladder versus Sol.
4GG, what have you done? What have we done? Oh my god. But again, even though this base has been taken, maybe Jim can do something about it. He still has a couple of Swarm Hosts alive. He still has the Nidus as well. He isn't completely out of this. Like, the army supplies are still relatively even.
Man, what a close game. Like, when this game started, I was expecting like an easy 2-0 for JimRising. That was proving me wrong. That is proving me wrong.
Exactly. You know what? I'm sure Jim is like, what the hell is this guy doing? Like, honestly, like, there's not a lot of people who do this. Again, like, 4GG is the only one that I knew that actively went for this style. And yeah, the Banshees are starting to pull JimRising apart. Jim doesn't have any more mutants to chase them down.
You are right. This is basically Swarmhost Hydra only. And you know, and both of those units are actually not very good when you have a lot of mech. So if Tavo managed to amass enough mech again, he can just end the game in one big push. Exactly. And look, this is exactly Tavo what he needs to do. He needs to hamper the economy of Tavo. He has to not let Tavo grow anymore.
Exactly. Mastodon by Jim, he distracts the army to the south, but oh my god, this is why going Hydra against mech is not ideal, because it's so squishy. Oh god.
Like, there goes 30 supply in Hydras, like, to the trash.
And now he's going into Lurkers, and I feel like that's what Tavo wanted. Like, but his style was meant to go up against Lurkers, and now he takes out a base. We got Lurkers on the way, and there are still Banshees left over to focus them down. This entire time, Banshees were even in the main base, just harassing and just getting whatever tech they could.
Big engagement. This could be the last engagement of the game. Nice Viper's use is not enough. There's a lot of tanks. There's a lot of HP that I don't think JimRising can destroy. Like,
exactly. Like, a scan gets used, nothing shoots up. Mate, the Banshees, they're coming in, they're cleaning up, there's nothing to contend against them, and Tavo's doing it. He's doing it against Jimena. It's happening. Oh god, but there are a lot of Hydras coming in. Ooh, a lot of Banshees do go down, but the Thors have been repositioned. Sorry, the tanks even, sorry.
This is the end, right? This is the end. Like this is a big funnel that I don't think Jim can get out of.
Yeah, exactly. It's too much. It's far too much. And Jim, he's stuck between a Tavo and a hard place. And Tavo, he's coming in, mate. Good.
150 supply versus 72. That's GG.
Wow. Tavo.
That's your fault. That's your fault.
Oh my god. Tavo does it. He takes game number 1 against Jim. Wow.
Nice game.
I'm gonna message Neo. Mate, did you tell Tavo about the Thor Banshee? Oh god, wow. Okay, that was game number 1. Now we're gonna be getting into game number 2, and I wouldn't be surprised if Jim goes for like a big like roach all in.
You have to kill it early. I kinda wanna open Jim's stream and see just his reaction to what just happened.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he's in shock and awe right now. Oh god. Alright, here we go. Oh, bold choice by Jim. Not gonna lie. Romanticide? Mate.
This was probably Tavo's choice, remember?
True. Very true. This is scary for Jim, mate. We're loading into Romanticide, the biggest map in the map pool. This is where mech players want to be, man. This is scary. All right, well, here we go. We're loading in.
There we go. In the bottom right-hand corner of the map, we have the player who's going down 1-0 in this series of the best of 3. We have the Mexican Cirque for Timber Esports, JimRising.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Romanticide LE, we have the Peruvian Terran player. He is purple. He is representing Team Rebirth Esports. It is Tavo. Currently leading this series. Mate.
So, like, how much do you want to bet if you're going to see 1, Mech again, and 2, Banshee Thor again?
I do think we will see that if the game lasts that long. I will be very surprised if Jim doesn't go for like a 2-base all-in. Like we've casted him before, right? We've seen him do that against Chaos Fate, you know, to like end the game early, so Jim doesn't have to like deal with what Chaos Fate has to offer. I would imagine he's gonna do the same here, right? Question mark?
Who knows? Like, let me tell you, JimRising for the past like 3-4 months has been a player that has been very inconsistent in tournaments.
True.
Like, I would expect Jim to, even now that he's off racing every now and again, to consistently make the finals, you know? But time and time again, I see him lose in the run of 8, in the semifinals. Sometimes again, players that I would have not bet against him. So the question is Tavo going to be one of those players? Are we going to have an all Peruvian finals, right?
It's possible. I would add on to that, and I don't think it's clear yet whether Jim's inconsistency has to do with Jim's form or with the rest of the scene. That I think for me that is unclear, because
so So you're not sure if Jim is bad or the rest are starting to get good.
Exactly, or if it's like a mixture of the two, right? Like, I don't know, because I agree, in 2020, Jim was on fire. Like, Jim was maybe the best he's ever been, right? In 2020. But we've also seen a lot of players rise up. Players like Tavo, you know, and players like Shelby as well. Like, I wouldn't say that the Zerglord has gotten worse, you know? Which has to mean that the Terrans are getting better, right? Like, so yeah.
No, impossible. Good Terrans.
You're like, Terran other than Special and Kellizer in Latin America? No.
like, this is not 2010. What are you talking about?
Especially because, like, this is something I'll always reference, mate. In the last Battle of the Americas of 2020, Chaos Fate beat Cham, if you recall. Like, that's something that I'm never going to forget. Like, the Terran players are getting scary in Latin America. Like, I don't know what happened, but something happened. Something's in the water. And they're getting good.
I know what happened, Light. Vira started to make tournaments. You're welcome. You're welcome, Terrans of the world.
Maybe.
I mean, think about it. We make a few Chileans event, and suddenly Chileans become good. Ground and what's his name?
Cristiano.
Yes, Cristiano X, Shot and Belt. There's a couple of Chileans that suddenly pop up. Then a Peruvian tournament, and suddenly look, Tavo and Chaos Fate and Shelby gets good for the first time in his life. Like,
I agree.
Who knows what happens if one day we make one for Brazil or for Mexico or God forbid Guatemala.
I mean, it goes to show how important regional events are, right? Like, just to motivate players to get better and improve. Because I 100% agree. I do think that the rebirth events and LatAm Dorada did have something to do with it. But we'll see. We'll see how this story ends. Because I'm surprised Jim didn't go for an early attack. He is playing this out a lot more macro focused. He's been droning up. Sure, he has a Roach Warren, but it is mainly for defense. And I spoke too soon. There we go. There is the Nidus. Let's go.
So this is Nidus. This is Roach or Serling? I didn't even look if there was a Roach Warren. There's a Roach Warren. Okay.
There is a Roach Warren, and what I'm worried about is that Tavo is going for this armory, so he's going for a Hellbat push. Hellbat pushes against Roaches, they just don't work. I was saying the same thing when we casted Shelby versus Jim, and I was like, if Shelby goes for a Hellbat push, like, he's done, and that's exactly what happened. He went for a Hellbat push, and Jim just slapped him down. I just don't see this working out. Here we go. Nidus is in the main base. Tavo has vision. He sees. He's trying to stop it. The Banshees come in.
Okay, he has Banshees, he has, I think, one Marauder, a couple of Marauders over there, so there's something. This Nidus is not gonna finish. Barely not gonna finish, but good job.
Yeah, very good job there by Tavo. Again, the Banshees, they provide a lot of DPS, and this is the big difference between Tavo and Shelby, is that Tavo, he's going for Banshees. Like, he already has 3, and that's gonna help so much in the defense.
Another Nidus, but the gospel. Oh, the Link Center. The X managed to enter the natural. How many workers will they take down? Oh no.
Okay. There was a little bit of lag there, unfortunately, but as you were saying, the Lings do get into the natural. Some SCVs will go down. The Nidus doesn't go up, but again, the Nidus was the distraction.
Okay, only 5 SCVs. Everything's still fine, and I think JimRising is going to stop now with the aggression. He's starting to make drops again. He's starting to make gas again.
Yeah, he is getting ready for the transition. He just started Roach Speed as well. JimRising just realized he's not going to end the game. He cannot end the game, so he needs to get ready to move on. He is not stopping with the Niduses though, and this Nidus does have Queens and Roaches in it, and it's going to finish. Uh-oh, get in there. Oh god.
Oh no.
Tavo, he thought he was safe. He was anything but safe. The Nidus does finish. Jim commits to the attack. And the problem is that the Banshees were across the map. They were not at home to defend.
This is bad, like, this is really bad. He has lost the armory. He has lost a lot of SCVs. He's maybe going to lose his base.
Hey, he might lose the game.
There's nothing here, mate. There's one tank and one Banshee. That's it.
Oh god, we do have a couple of Marines support, and I mean, Tavo is trying his best to hold on. At the same time, the Banshees are dealing some damage, but god, there's detection at home. Jim is fine. He's fine against the Banshees.
Okay, Tavo managed to defend, but at what cost? Like, there's 87 supply versus 44.
At the cost of 23 SCVs, Tavo, he's down to 19 workers.
JimRising basically returned Tavo to one base economy.
Yep, essentially.
And this is horrible, especially when you're trying to go mech.
It's less than one base, because he's long distance mining in his main to his natural. Oh god.
Yeah, meanwhile, Jim is going for his next transition, Spire.
There we go. Spire is on the way, and Spire should be the nail in the coffin. Like, again, Tavo, he's on 2 bases. He has a 3rd CC, which is great and all, but he's not going to be able to land it. He doesn't have an army. The main force of his army is Banshees, and they don't shoot up. Like,
So yeah, game 3, like. What do you think is going to happen in game 3?
Let's go. I mean, honestly, game 3, a lot of it's going to come down to the map. As we saw JimRising, it makes sense that he went for an early push like this. I assumed he was going to go for like a 2-base all-in. It wasn't quite that, but like, you don't want to go into a long game against a Terran on Romanticide, against a meching Terran.
11 mutas are on the way. 11 mutas plus the how many roaches? Okay, only 9 roaches. So it's going to be basically mutas for the whole game. And Tavo doesn't have a lot to show up, really. To show up, only a few Marines. He doesn't even have torch yet. Only the armory is now being rebuilt. These mutas are going to have free reign in the next minutes.
Yeah, I mean,
Banshees to pick up. This is
the Banshees were picked off. There's only one Banshee remaining, and it's being hunted down. And once all the Banshees go down, then JimRising can just do whatever he wants. As he does find. Oh, never mind.
Nice dodge. Almost works out.
Oh god, he almost escaped, but Jim, he found it, cleans it up. What is there to defend? A bunch of missile turrets on 2 bases.
So nothing really.
Nothing really, man.
I mean, at least with the Banshees, Tavo managed to build time to build the Tors. The Tors are almost coming out, almost done. That may help.
It will definitely help. You know, he will be able to push away the mutas, but it's not stopping the mutas from finding some damage. They pick up 1 tank, 2 tanks go down.
Now, Tavo doesn't have any tanks against a Almox max out JimRising. And Jim is now going for the final punch.
Yep. The wall isn't even a wall either. There's a bunch of Marines without stim or any upgrades, without combat shield. He's going to have some decent Sim City, which is great, but we'll see. We'll see how long he holds on.
Oh, no, supply block. There's no more tanks. There's only 1 tank that is not even in range yet. He has a couple of tools, which is fine, but against these many roaches, no, mate. Plus, in the main base, the mutas are making a mess of everything.
GG. Jim ties up the series 1-1.
I gotta say, Jim played smart this game.
Yeah.
He knew what he had to do to win, which is not get into the late game. And he executed accordingly.
What I will say is that I do think that Tavo was doing a really good job defending for a while. He thought that the game was gonna progress, right? He thought that he defended long enough, and he thought that Jim gave up on the Nidus, right? So then he went across the map with his Banshees, and then things snowballed from there. The Nidus finally finished in the main base of Tavo, and Jim was able to take it from there. Shout out to Jim for not giving up on the Nidus, like, despite being stopped a couple of times.
And we have third map. It is Jagannatha.
We have our ace man.
Who do you think favors this map?
Jagannatha? Jim. I think because of the speed zones, Jim he doesn't even need a Nidus. He can like push with roaches and queens across the map. If he wanted to end it early, I think he has an opportunity.
We'll see. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy. Oh boy. Meanwhile, S Rever in the chat. Rebirth has the best logo in esports. Rebirth logo is pretty cool. It is pretty cool.
I disagree. I'm going to disagree. I think the logo that they had previously to the current one was better.
True. True. It was good.
A few weeks ago, I was talking with some of the Wikipedia editors for League of Legends, and we were discussing how in the past like couple of years, a lot of teams has been going for simpler and simpler logos. Like, I don't know if you remember a very old StarCraft 2 team called Isurus Esports.
I do not.
Isurus Esports used to have one of the best logos in gaming that I have seen. It was a shark. The mascot is a shark. And it's a very cool logo. And just like River, they maintained that logo for many, many years. Then suddenly last year they went for a very minimalistic logo where it's only a shark silhouette in blue, and I'm like, which is kind of like River did, which it went for a phoenix that had the word River to only the silhouette of a phoenix. I'm like, I don't know, mate. Speaking of, I don't know, mate. I don't know what this player is going to do this game. Here we have the red Mexican Serb player, JimRising.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Jagannatha ALE, we have the Peruvian Terran player. He is purple. He is representing, as we were saying, Rebirth Esports. Tied up in the series, this is it. This is the ace match. It is Tavo. And I did get confirmation. Neo did work with Tavo on that Thor Banshee style.
So he saw your footlight.
Oh yeah.
Is what you're
I mean, you could argue it's 4GG's fault.
I mean, I could, but I won't.
Oh god, really? We should be thanking him again. Tavo, he took the first game off of JimRising. Like that was amazing to see. The problem is that I'm sure game one just like struck fear into the heart of JimRising. He's like, I'm never gonna let that happen again. He's like, no, that's not going to work on me, not twice.
Probably. That's probably going to happen. In the meantime, the standards opening for these players are like the usual. Full hatch gas for JimRising, and a Reaper expands for Tavo. And Tavo also SCV scouting because he's afraid of being rushed by roaches. You know how I told you at the beginning that in my first round of this tournament, one of the games was a one-page rush push. The only reason I survived is because I did exactly what Tavo did, an SCV scout.
Yeah. It's very important to do so, especially against someone like Jim. Especially because Jim has, I don't know if you saw, but Jim actually went for a one-base roach rush against Shelby. So he's got it in him. Yeah, he's willing to do that. So you have to make sure.
Question: did he want that game because of the rush?
Yes. Shelby was, honestly, it was on Shelby because Shelby was crazy and he threw down a bunker on the low ground and he tried to hold that as natural. It's like, mate, what are you doing? No, you hold at your ramp, mate. Like, Jesus Christ. So yeah, the defense was not very good from Shelby, even though it got scouted.
It seems that Tavo is going for Banshees again. He's opening Factory Helion with a quick starport, and the barracks making a very quick tech lab, which is now is going to switch over.
I hope he doesn't go for a Hellbat push again. I hope he's a little bit more, defensive, and he just relies on his Banshees to harass across the map. Also, we'll see if he commits to Banshees as much as he did in game number 1. He doesn't have to play that way. He has other ways that he can play out as well. He can play standard mech. He can do something crazy like play bio. I know, shock.
Something crazy like play bio.
Oh god. I wouldn't be opposed to that,
That's okay. Unfortunately for Tavo, JimRising sees everything. There was an Overlord sitting just like next to the starport for like 2 minutes until Tavo finally noticed.
Yeah. Oh boy, so Jim, he should be throwing down spores any moment now. He's got plenty of queens as well to defend. So he should be perfectly fine. As you said, he saw everything. Ooh, and I love this from both players. I love this from Tavo. Tavo is not being aggressive. He's actually going for a third base right now. He's not going for any kind of armory or any kind of big committed push. Meanwhile, Jim is responding in kind with the Spire. Oh, will he see it? Will he see it?
The base. He saw the Spire. He sees the Spire, but he's going to lose the Hellions for the Banelings.
It's okay, it's okay. The Hellions will go down, but they gave their life for the cause. He knows about the mutas.
That was a very expensive scout.
It was.
But I think it was worth it because now Tavo saw it and immediately he throws the armory for the doors, and now he throws the engineering bay for the turrets.
Exactly. And at the same time, the Banshees are hitting, and surprisingly, there was no spore here at the third base. So a drone did go down, forced all the drones off the line as well, so there was no mining. So yeah, Tavo was able to find some damage with his Banshees.
Now that we enter in the mid game light, who do you think is going to fare better?
I mean, Tavo shouldn't lose too much to the mutas. As we see, look, he's already working on his ring of turrets already. He's working on Vikings as well and Thors. He should have plenty of anti-air, so he shouldn't die anytime soon. A lot of it is going to come down to how long will JimRising be able to contain his opponent, and how hard is he going to make it for Tavo to expand and take a third base and a fourth base.
Hard, apparently, now that we're starting to see the Overlord starting to poop everything over the tier base. Banshee's coming here for a little bit of harass. Let's see what they can do. I don't think Jim saw with an Overlord.
Yeah, he sees it. He comes in with not just a muta, but also with an Overseer. He's going to be able to shut this down.
Rip Banshees.
F's in the chat. Hopefully that's not the last we see of those Banshees, but
I think Tavo is going a little too hard on those Banshees. He's making a little too many, in my opinion. Relying too much on the Banshees for the early harassment.
Yeah, I'm surprised, but he's starting up production again. I thought that was going to be the end for the Banshees for now, and maybe later on we see a big switch into them, but he's continuing the production.
I mean, he's going hard for it. I mean, if 4G do it, why can't I? I'm pretty sure Tavo is saying to himself.
This is true. I mean, even though we don't see 4G compete very much at all in the Korean scene, he's still very active in ESL Americas, and he's still a very strong player. He's still over 6k on NA, for example. And yeah, he's able to make stuff like that work. And there we go. We do have hyperflight rotors on the way for Tavo.
Oh man, I mean, good for Jim that Tavo has not done any economic damage to him the whole game. He's been doing a good job with his mutas, but the problem is that also JimRising has not done any damage to Tavo. And unlike game 2, this is going to go late game, like game 1, and we saw what happened in game 1 late.
Yeah, like the scary thing is that even in game 1, JimRising, if you remember, made it hard for Tavo to take a third base and to take a fourth base. He was being very aggressive with his mutas and like chipping away at the army. Tavo had no resistance taking this third. And like, there we go, the fourth is on the way. He's only just now going to see the Overlord. But he should be able to establish the space like without too much problem. Please kill the Overlord. Okay, there we go. Oh god.
Oh no, I hate it. This is the typical make mistake where you have one Overlord or you have one settling, preventing one base from being out, and you send your whole army, so you leave a big hole, and this happens.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about as well, because Tavo moved everything to kill the Overlord. He has to be careful.
Come on, Tavo, you're not a Protoss. You cannot A move.
you can't recall. That's the problem, right? Like, oh my god.
Oh wow, that's a lot of turrets.
Jim, please. He's losing a lot of units doing this. I don't think this is the right move, but he does kill all the turrets, I guess.
A lot of SCVs are going down, but I mean, I think it was okay. He has a lot of mutas. He's willing to trade. But I'm not sure how much what was worth it. How many mutas did he lose in that?
10.
10 mutas? Oh, that was a lot of mutas for... Okay, a fair amount of SCVs, but I'm not sure if I'm willing to trade 10 mutas for 18 SCVs. Especially on a base that was pretty much mined out.
Yeah. It's questionable move there, but I mean, Jim is not stopping. He's making more mutas. He's working on +2 fire attack as well. He's just committed. I'm worried for him, because in a head-on engagement with the amount of Thors that Tavo is going to have, like I don't know if this is the right move. To be fair, because of how mobile the mutas are, it's possible that Jim will never have a head-on engagement with those Thors.
Maybe. The big difference between this game and game 1 is that it does not have the... Oh, okay, nice split, but that was a lot of damage for the mutas.
It really was, and the Thors popped out just in time. But you know what? The mutas were able to deal with all the Thors. Once again, they get into the mineral line, and they're going to be able to deal some damage. Yo, he's trying to get the CC.
He get it. Good job for JimRising, but still, that was a pretty expensive trade, in my opinion. I mean, that's okay. Look at the bank that JimRising has. He has a lot of money to rebuild in case necessary. Case in point, 10 mutas were now beat. So he's replenishing what he's losing. The problem is, I'm not sure if he has. Okay. I'm going to correct myself. He has enough money, enough economic difference to make this worth it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yo, the Muta King is back. You know, this is what we know him for. This is what we love him for. Despite all the Thors, despite all the missile turrets, he is going mass Muta, and he's going to try and brute force it. The problem is, he can't take too many trades like that. Like, he has a very fragile army, and even though he has the bank to remake, like, he can't do it too often. But yo, Tavo is supply blocked. This is like, Tavo cannot make any army.
His supply block. Jim is maxed out. He's ready to move out, and more importantly, Jim doesn't have very many tanks. So he has basically only those, which are okay. But when you have a maxed out set player that is going to be primarily roaches, that could be a problem. Especially because if you move out with the Thors, this happens. You just come in and destroy your whole base and your whole economy. And make you all in, basically.
And like, it goes to show that there is a role that the Banshees would have had in this game, and that is to harass and try and stop Jim from amassing a massive bank like this, because Tavo has been stuck at home the entire time. He just hasn't been able to harass whatsoever outside of the very early game.
Oh God, going for the base. Okay, not enough, but it was scary still. Like, Jim, this is what Jim's going to try to do. He's going to try to put Tavo out of position by attacking a weak spot with his mutas, and then he's trying to run the serving bailing to whatever other base is open.
Yeah, exactly. And right now the main is open. There's only one missile turret here. The Thors are on the way, but you know what? Hey, are there any Thors here at the third? Looks like there are. So again, Jim is losing a handful of mutas, but we keep talking about it. Jim has the money for these losses. He can afford it.
He has 6K minerals in the banks versus the 30 of Tavo.
Yeah. Tavo like needs some room to breathe, and he can't, right? Like he's just stuck here at home. He needs like Hellion run-bys or Banshee harass. Banshee harass wouldn't work because of the mutas. I mean, it's hard to get anything going because of the mutas, right? Like they just have control of the map.
Man, there we go. Here come the banelings.
There go the banelings. But at the same time, sorry, there was a bailing run by here at the third base, so damage was still done. Tavo, like he's spread too thin. He can't protect everywhere at the same time. Just can't do it.
Yeah, his bane is stretched too thin. That's the problem with the mech army, especially when you have basically only Thors. They're very slow, very expensive, so you don't have very many of them. So, want it or not, you're going to holes in your base, and you need to be either very lucky or read very well your opponent to know where he's going to attack and when he's going to attack. Otherwise, this happens.
Exactly. And I mean, shout out to in the chat, someone is saying, hey, like, you know, some Widow Mines would help a lot here, and like any kind of like additional static defense would definitely help here. Unfortunately, Tavo is like hyper focused on this Thor production, and we'll see how it goes. The Banelings and the Ravagers are coming in.
I'm not just a big fan of so many Banelings for JimRising versus Thors, but I mean, he has the money. He can make the trades.
Oh yeah.
15 more SCVs went down. The mutas are now coming to this base and everything because there's absolutely nothing to defend. And the Thors are going to take an eternity to walk over there.
Exactly. As more SCVs are going down, and Tavo, he's given up on defense. He is pushing across the map with his army, but his army, it isn't that intimidating. It isn't that big, to be honest. There's 4 Thors with this. That's all there is. We'll see what he can accomplish with this. So he takes out a base, which is nice, but he needs more than that. He needs to kill 2, 3, 4 bases. Oh boy.
What does Jim has? He has 15 Katas, 9 mutas, a couple of Zerlings. Yeah, this is not enough for Tavo.
Yeah, not at all.
Not enough.
The Corruptors deal with the Banshees, the Hydras and the Roach Ravager deal with the Thors. GG gets called, and JimRising will go on to the finals.
And all Zerg finals, who knew?
We're back, mate. It's 2020 all over again.
So GG, good job for JimRising. He knew exactly how to take Tavo apart, and he did. And he advances to the finals.
He does. I do assume that Tavo, for the most part, was doing this build mainly for practice in a competitive format. Obviously, he found success with it in Game 1. He struggled in Game 3. But I love the idea of this build or this composition kind of slowly going into like his repertoire of builds, and maybe in future weeks he doesn't have to rely on it. He can whip it out in a series every now and then, and he can work on something else as well.
Yes, it works well when your opponent is going for Roach Hydra Lurker, but
yeah,
when your opponent is going for a mass of mutalis, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's very specific. It's very specific against Eric. It feels like it's like a sniper build against him. Against Jim, we see it can struggle a little bit more. But again, he took a game off of Jim, which is very impressive, regardless.